You know what you get?
What's that?
Exactly what you fucking deserve.
That's what the way it goes.
You get sloppy joes.
I know how you kids like them sloppy.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, faggot!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?
So the Joker came out today, and everybody was freaking out, and there was lots of security everywhere that you went. Actually, there was the same cop that's always at ours. But
our guy that took our ticket actually had a gun on his hip, so I felt more safe.
oh, he always does it. That one. That
Yeah,
you go to,
it's good. It's good time.
And they also come in.
He looks like LaFour's armed.
That your feet aren't on the like backrest or whatever. They're really hardcore at that theater.
I know.
It's a piece of shit, so that doesn't make any sense. But
if you go into our theater and where I live, it's ghetto superstar.
that's not true, dude. They renovated it. They got a new rug.
No, dude, it's already falling apart. They used duct tape.
So Joaquin Phoenix, this is Todd Phillips, who did The Hangover and Road Trip, and he's known for his comedies and shit like that in Old School, doing a serious movie. Everybody was like weirded out but excited when they announced this. We did a dream casting back in the day.
Yeah, Joaquin was on there, man.
Yeah, Joaquin was high on our list for a dream casting of who we would want to play the Joker out of everybody in the whole world, and it turned out to come true, and he's a fucking amazing Joker.
Dude, he's a tour de force in this fucking movie. He knocked it out of the park, which I think that we all felt like Joaquin Phoenix, being the masterful actor that he is, was going to do a great job with it. But what surprised me was the fact that he did it in such a way that it's brooding, it's dark, it's twisted in a lot of ways. It's not Goodfellas violent, it's Goodfellas Diet Coke version. It's still violent. There's still some moments and you're like, damn.
There's a couple like particular incensed violent moments.
But good. It's well done. But it's not like the same kind. You know that part in Goodfellas? I remember that part when he fucking pistol whips that motherfucker and you see it?
Yeah.
It's not that
brutal. Or the stabbing scene in the trunk.
But it's close. I mean, it's like I said, Diet Coke or Coke Zero, whatever you want. When you watch this man's slow descent and he tries to pick himself back up a few times along the movie, but he keeps stumbling. And then there's one revelation that fucking happens, or there's a couple, but one specific revelation when he walks into somebody's apartment. And he realized that he looked fucking freaky as shit in that scene too, when he's all like from the rainstorm.
There was a couple twists.
And I was like, damn, oh yeah, there was a few twists in there. I was like, I don't know what you're doing here, Martin.
And the funny thing about the twists that happened were there were things you didn't like too. Yeah. Something would happen in the movie, I'd be like, that part doesn't exactly make sense because of this tiny thing right here, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. That might be a plot hole, or another part would be like, I just don't like that.
Yeah.
And both of those two things that happened, and we'll talk about it in our spoiler review, both got turned around and flipped on their heads, and they were actually pretty good twists. I didn't see them coming.
Honestly, I love the film. I thought it was really well done. I think Joaquin Phoenix is definitely deserving of at least a nod at the Academy. Like, I know he won't be. I know that they won't. But the weird thing is, like, to me, it's no different than Logan, because Logan, you didn't have to be a superhero fan to go see the movie and enjoy it for what it is. It's a great fucking film. It's written well. There's great actors. There's great moments. There's great revelations. And I think that's exactly what Joker is. There's no Batman. There's no superheroes with red undies looking around for kryptonite. There's none of that. It's literally, you could take the movie as a crash course in psychology and be like, this is what happens when somebody, regardless of gender or whatever, race, this is what happens.
And it's not just about bullying either. Like that's in there. And that's all. That's a main theme of the movie because of what he deals with. But he's bullied because of the mental issues he has, and the way they go into one specific tick that he has because of his mental illness is, to me, fucking utterly ingenious with how it ties to the Joker's character overall. Dude, holy shit.
There was one particular moment that I didn't get misty-eyed about it, but I was like, man, I felt so fucking awful for him because he was trying so hard, and you could tell that he was upset, and it was like it was ironic. It's so ironic. The irony of his particular disorder, I guess what you would call it, is that he's so damaged and he's so sad and he's so unhappy with the way his life has gone and his existence in the world, that the only way to showcase that is by doing this one particular thing, and I can't tell you what that is. But it's ironic. Like, it's the very opposite of what he's feeling, but he can't help it. It's just a part of his disorder.
And in a strange way, it ties into that profession. from the get-go, and as soon as you heard Martin Scorsese and what they were doing with the film, the immediate thought that came to my head was like Taxi Driver, like, and that's what, and even the people who saw it,
it felt like Taxi Driver in a way.
It does feel like Taxi Driver in a way, but it's not some of the critics out there are saying that it's like a copy of better films that have been done before, but it's not.
I think you're a copy of a critic that's better than you.
The thing about Taxi Driver in this movie, there's a huge difference. This movie, when you add in the specific mental illnesses, when you add in the Joker element, when you add in the twists and turns of this movie and the way that they handle it, sure, the setting has a Taxi Driver feel. It has a crime movie feel to it. That's like Taxi Driver. It is a character study. There are similarities, but this movie definitely, to me, has its own DNA, for sure. Todd Phillips didn't do the Force Awakens Star Wars treatment with this and just like butter it up, which I love the Force Awakens, don't get me wrong. This is its own movie.
Not The Last Jedi.
To me, this movie stands out as its own movie, and it's actually what I was thinking about was just all the performances and everything and the things that they do in the movie. I was thinking more of an 8.5, but the more and more I talk about it, it's actually a strong 9, at least for me. The only negatives I could possibly even think to take away from it were the fact that, and it's not the movie's fault, the movie set out to do this, but a lot of the material is super heavy, and it's not a movie that, again, not the movie's fault, but it's not a movie that I'm going to find that much rewatch value out of. It's not something I'm going to go to like on a regular basis. It's not a fucking happy movie. I mean, you didn't think it was going to be, but you know, it's not a perfect movie. And there's a couple scenes like this is really dumb. But I was really over the dancing scenes by the end of the fucking movie.
I want to take dance class after it.
I was really over, but
I can see that. Like, I'm going to give it a 9.5 myself. I did enjoy it slightly better than Mike, but I can see that. I mean, there was a little bit more dancing with the stars than I wanted, but nonetheless, I mean, he looked good in tidy whities. Like, he pulled that shit off. He pulled that, and he could dance.
Did you see him, by the way, on Kimmel, where Kimmel was making fun of him for breakdancing? He's like, so it was just like you in your room with a piece of cardboard? And Joaquin Phoenix, dead-faced as fuck, was like, I mean, you're making fun of me right now? He was like, but it was pretty important.
You know what's funny is,
I was like, I respect that.
I thought did Kimmel see the movie? Because if he had seen the movie, he wouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be making fun of it.
That's actually, you know what I mean? Really good
point. So, anyhow...
but the movie is pretty damning towards TV show hosts, so I guess...
It is, in a way, yeah. Kimmel didn't see the movie. I was moved in some way by it. Like, I really thought it was a really good study of the character of Joker, and not just the fact that they didn't make it where it was just accessible by comic book people or DC people or Marvel people or both. It was accessible by everybody that just wanted to go see a great movie, and I felt like it's a great movie overall for that reason alone, is that it is a swinging door, and they go like, man, this is a really great, it's a conversation piece. When you leave, you're going to think about it, you're going to talk about it, and for that reason alone, I mean, when I was leaving the theater, I was driving, I was like, man, I was thinking about it. It's so fucking, I was thinking about each scene, I was thinking about parts, I was trying to dissect certain moments of that film, and like, man, it meant more in this particular moment than that particular moment. And I was thinking about the transformative nature of what they were going with Joaquin Phoenix, like when he breaks his shell, like this fragile little egg that he had been, like in fucking like Jurassic Park, and then and the cracks start happening, and then when he emerges, he becomes the Joker. There's a caste battle about, you know, rich versus poor. There's the mental illnesses that we've talked about. There's things like that. There's so many layers to the film as you go on, and it just sticks with Joaquin Phoenix's journey through this madhouse of his own brain and the way that he's interacting with the world and slowly crumbling. I mean, he didn't have a fucking Danny Glover from Angels in the Outfield was like, he goes, I got nothing left. It's like, yeah, you do. You got an angel with you right now. Or Angels in the Outfield.
He didn't have a Danny Glover when he was Riggs either. He didn't have a Murtaugh to help him out along the way.
That's true.
When he was going crazy.
And like, so, I mean, man.
Don't be sad. Have a French fry.
And maybe I'll have to watch. I have to watch to get more of a firmer comparison to the two.
Oh, you're going there.
Yeah, because somebody's going to ask. I mean, they're going to always ask. And my brother actually asked in a text message, do I think this performance or do I think this portrayal of the Joker is better than Heath Ledger's Joker? Knee-jerk reaction coming right out of the theater. I said yes. Now, thinking about the statement a little bit more firmly or clearly, I haven't seen Heath Ledger's Joker in a little bit, maybe like a month or two. I haven't watched The Dark Knight in about a month or 2 months. I have to go back and watch it to get more of a fresher aspect. Now, I will say this. Joaquin Phoenix benefited me. They're so different, okay?
Yeah.
The characters are so different the way they portray the Joker. And I'm not saying that Heath Ledger's Joker's not... Dude, it's fucking phenomenal. Everybody knows that.
That's a good point. That movie wasn't a character study.
Yeah.
This one was. And again, I go the same thing with Jack Nicholson. Like, Heath Ledger to Jack Nicholson is like, it's really hard because they're so different. Yeah. And I think that lands for this one. We'll talk about this in the spoiler review, but I did want to say really quick, did you notice a quick little nod to Ledger in that movie?
No.
It was very subtle, man, but we'll talk about it.
Oh,
I'll talk about it.
I'm ready to go now. I also want to say, last thing, And if you guys have seen the movie, trust me, we're not spoiling right now, but I will say, I love Robert De Niro in it. Like, you can't have Martin Scorsese without De Niro in somewhere, and it was a great choice for him. I just thought, like, dude, it would have been so fucking badass for some reason, and this isn't giving anything away because it's in the trailer, but imagine that Jack Nicholson had been the talk show host.
But he doesn't act.
I know, but he would have been like, call me Joker.
Yeah.
Dude, it would have been fucking mind-blowing. Wow. Oh, God.
That would have been great. If you watch this movie and all you see is, and this is, I'm paraphrasing other people's words, I would have never even thought of this, but all you see is a movie sympathizing with a mass murderer who happens to be also a white male, you're missing the things in this movie that are actually saying something important about society. You're missing the things in this movie that say something important about classism, about how we treat people with classism.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a word.
I thought it wasn't a word.
Yeah,
classism.
Yes, classism is a word. Yeah,
they must have added that last year.
But I got my nose stuffed up anyway, so I'll just say it again. But if you go into this and all you're seeing is that shit, you're missing some really important things this movie has to say about classism and about how we treat people with mental issues and about bullying and about all the shit that this movie has to say. It has some really good things to say, and it has some really hard looks at our society and how we act. There's really important shit in this movie, and if you're just looking to get pissed off, you're gonna miss the entire thing. And if we can't do movies like this because people are afraid to piss people off, you're gonna miss out on a lot in your life.
You know what? Okay, instead of putting on your angry britches in the morning when you wake up, and like you said, dude, if we can't do this, what if people didn't make certain songs? Like, what if we missed out on great fucking rock songs back in the day?
We have already in the past, I see.
That's funny because there's a trailer for Joker right there.
But in the past 5 to 10 years, it makes your asshole hurt to think about all the amazing content, music, movies, Mel Gibson specifically, as a human being, all the amazing content that we've missed out on in the past fucking 5 to 10 years that this shit's been going on because people were afraid to put their thoughts out there because the fucking pylons would have attacked them and ripped them apart. It's so sad. It makes me fucking crazy to think about.
Why don't you put your goddamn swastika fucking headbands on and go burn some books, bitch? Because that's what you're trying to say. You're saying, well, if I don't agree with it, it shouldn't exist. Either way, I don't want to make this whole thing fucking. But I will say, I think you said
that's true.
I think you said one thing specifically. Mike said something. I don't know what it was. I think you sent a text message or something. He's like, dude, this world, we don't belong in this world. It feels like we're fucking Bill and Ted from 1992, and we showed up in our goddamn time booth, and shit's all awry, and we're like, we got to go back and fix it.
And let me add one more thing to that too. I was thinking about this after I left that movie. Where we're all so like, oh my god, everyone's bad. Everyone's bad. This is bad. I gotcha. That was bad.
Gotcha
that sounded racist. That sounded this. That sounded this. You can't do that.
Homophobe. Bigot.
Dude, there's always a pendulum swing with this kind of shit. If we all jump on that bandwagon and the pendulum swings this way, it's gonna fucking come back down.
It's like the Viking ride.
And it scares me to think about when everybody gets so mad at all this shit and they get so pissed when the pendulum swings the other direction and people are really fucking hateful towards each other. That's going to be really ugly, and nobody wants that.
And that's what the movie really, in this instance, it's about everybody treating each other like shit and not listening anymore, and just being completely discourteous, don't care anymore. It's a great movie, and it's a fucking awesome movie. Regardless of the political shit, you don't have to go in it with a political mindset. It's not political, okay? It's not. It's a great it's a great MILF. Your mom I'd like to fuck, but it's a great movie I'd like to fuck as well. But it's a good movie overall, and if you're gonna go in there with no blinders on and just enjoy the film as a creative process that Martin Scorsese brought us with Joaquin Phoenix pulling in a tour de force kind of performance with Joker, you're gonna love the film. If you're gonna look for political stuff, you'll find political stuff. If you're not going to, then you won't find it. The idea is though, it's a great film, and it's one of the films that I have had, like, it's one of the few films this year that I've really enjoyed. Brightburn, Endgame, Once Upon a Hollywood, Godzilla. There's been so many great films, but this one definitely stands up above the rest. Not all the way. I mean, there's a lot.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. It's high on there. But yeah, man, check it out. Do yourself a favor and check that shit out.
We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button to get some goddamn wham opinion. Stay tuned for the spoiler review.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thatty.
Getting it done, bitch.
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover, Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you!
Ooh, I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?